I failed. These were the words that I began my Sunday school class with just about 3 months ago. You see, several months earlier, I had taken the computerized test to obtain my permit, but when it came time to do my pre-trip inspection, the driving skills challenge, and then the road test, I was unprepared. You see, 10 years ago, I had driven school buses for the county, and they had prepared me by training me, doing the testing, and as a driver, it came quite natural to me. I enjoyed driving school buses. So after we had lived overseas and I had let my CDL expire, I realized that after coming back to the States, I had to do the testing all over again. So last January, I had taken the test, received my permit, and all I had left was the final challenges and the final test in person. I did not realize, however, how difficult the process would be. When I had started this journey a year ago, I had been given a commercial driver license manual. And in this manual are many chapters breaking down each point of testing that I was required to know. And when I took the computer test a year ago, I had looked at the manual, and thankfully I passed those tests. But when it came time to do the road skills challenge a few months ago, I had forgotten all about the manual and thought, I don't need that anymore. So I just watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, and I was told many different things, and some things that would help and other things that conflicted. And when I took the test, my instructor told me that I was doing some things that were for straight trucks and not buses. Oh, I had messed up. So after I had failed my first test back in October, I had rescheduled to take the test this January. I only had a matter of a few weeks to pass this test before my permit expired. The pressure was on. But I turned my anxiety into studying, and I remembered the manual for the commercial driver's license. And I realized as I flipped through the pages, this details every part and every aspect of what I need to know for the test. Go figure. So I started studying diligently and marking it up and highlighting and making marks and practicing. I got friends from church who knew about the bus to tell me the different parts in the engine compartment, how to do the air brakes test properly, and helped me practice driving and doing the different maneuvers. After spending intense time studying, and with the help of a lot of prayers, I returned for my next appointment to take my test again. So this past weekend, my test date had arrived yet again, and I was both nervous and excited because I had studied, I had prepared, I had read the manual. And as I began the test, the Lord calmed my nerves and I started remembering the various components of the bus that I had to dictate to pass the test. After the air brakes test and the service brakes test and the parking brakes test, I was relieved to find out that I was moving on to the next stage. I had to perform several maneuvers with the bus in backing up and going forward, trying to avoid the cones, backing at angles, and being able to stop with just the right amount of space of clearance. And I barely passed that second round. Then we took the road test. And I remember as we would travel down the roads, and I was keeping in mind what signs we were passing and trying to do everything just right. Then my mind started daydreaming. And just at that point, I was asked what sign that we had just passed. I thought, oh no, I have messed up, because I had to honestly answer, I did not see the sign. But if I had to guess, it would be a speed limit sign, and it would be 45 miles an hour. And my instructor looked at me and said, you just saved yourself. And thankfully, I was able to finish the road challenge, and I was able to hear the words, you passed. We each know what it's like to study for a test or an exam and fail. Perhaps it's been in school, or maybe for some job you've been trying to get. You've studied really hard, you had your heart set on something, and then to hear those words is just hurtful. It's devastating at times. Sometimes it's the fact that we've let other people down or let ourselves down. We did not meet the expectations. But my friend, there are many tests in life that are far more important than a commercial driver's license test. And the God who created life has given us a manual called the Holy Bible to tell us how to prepare for tests, how to trust Him, and then how to overcome in life. You cannot be successful in life according to God's purpose without reading and studying His manual called the Holy Bible. In John chapter 14, verse 6, God tells us how we can know the one way to heaven. And it's through the words of Jesus. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Many people just hope that the way they live will one day just get them into God's presence. But my friend, until we understand what the manual says about life and death, we will not be prepared to meet God adequately. For the Christian who is already on the biblical path, it is necessary to read the manual of life every day. We need God's wisdom for decisions we make. The Bible says in Psalm chapter 119, verse 105, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Sadly, many people own a Bible, the manual for life, and yet day after day it sits on their shelf and they do not look at it, they do not read it, and they do not obtain the help that they need to pass the test of life every day. With God's help, you may also hear those rewarding words, you passed. And I look forward to one day hearing my Father tell me, well done, my son. You have fought a good fight. You have finished the course. You have kept the faith. Enter into the joy of your rest.